So this is the immediate neighborhood next to the Technopark station, Technopark. It's brand new. My wife used to work in this area years ago at a factory when she was a teenager in the USSR, the SSSR. It's completely rehabilitated. It's brand new. This is like if the signs were Canadian, you'd think you're in Toronto. Sorry about that. So it's 20 degrees, plus 20 degrees Celsius in Muscat today. I'm showing you guys a newer area of the city. It's not too old. It had some foreign investment from Germany, as well as investment from the Russian Federation to build this area. My wife used to work in this area as a teenager at a factory during the time of the USSR, and this area here, which is around me, is no longer a factory. It's no longer a wasteland. It's fully developed and brand new. So as you can see, beautiful day out. It's the number 2 line behind us. This area of town is completely revitalized. What I'm standing on used to be, I think she said it was an old light bulb factory. The street is Anthropological Prospect. I'll show you the sign of it here. But yeah, it's completely redone. More residential units for sale, very affordable prices. I don't like filming like this. I like to cut and edit, but I'll give you a raw feed today because I don't feel like editing it. I'm using my Galaxy Buds right now, and sometimes they cooperate for audio and sometimes they don't. So here is an example of work in progress and the work completed. So you can see right here, there's a huge pit. We saw it from the subway earlier. They're putting another residential unit up. Now some of these are office buildings, but the majority of them are residential units. So you see the advertising for it. See here, Domovladi od Garadskova Shuma. So you know it's for houses. Just by the first word, the keyword Doma. My Russian, I'm still learning Russian. That's what you. So, and there's always signs of affluence. We see a BMW here, even though I think you should have a UA's Dead Patriot, but it's his choice. It's a free market. Toyota Camry, popular car here. One of the cars I used to build, the RAV4, is also really popular. So I'm quite impressed with the construction capabilities of the Russian Federation, with their architectural style, and the speed. And this is the thing I don't think you guys can appreciate in the West, especially Canada. The speed of construction here is fast. They're not afraid to start 1,000 projects, 2,000 projects and get them done in a year. These guys know how to build. They know how to build quickly and accurate. Yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead and show you guys how the building is done here in the build process, just because you get a better appreciation of the finished product later in the video. So I'm just gonna segue into that right now. Yeah, here's a good example. Now we do the same technique in Canada, where we have concrete forms. But a lot of the time, the platforms in Canada are concrete. There's a concrete central core and then iron on the outside. So they have a more efficient style of laying these down than we do. And also, once permits are approved here, there's a lot less red tape to get things built. Yeah, this is a good bird's eye view. Yeah, so you can see, I wish I had a better camera for this. You can see down here, they use the mortar blocks to form columns. Some of these are pre-formed. And they just stack it on top of each other and get it done. They also started using what looks like sewer systems, collection pools. So they're revitalizing the sewer system here, which is always good to see. So we did that in my city. We built before we fixed the sewer, and we had to tear the city streets up and fix the sewer after. So these guys are ahead of the game with this, which is good. Which is good. Yeah, it's impressive to see this many cranes across the city. Like, really impressive. Like 1, 2, 3. This is about a square kilometer area. And then when you look over the horizon, it's such a good sight to see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cranes. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to segue back to the original tour. I had to add that in just to give you guys an explanation of how impressive this development is and how quickly they build it, how they build it, so you can have a true appreciation of what you're looking at. As you can see, these, when I got here, I wish I had taken a video when I got here. They were just shells. They do their shells a little differently here. They do concrete like we do too, but not as much iron. But very, very interesting architectural stuff. Very modern, very sleek. Lots of light. And these buildings, I particularly like these ones seeing them from the metro, because Russians aren't afraid to use color. They really like to beautify their buildings with color and design. And these are a good example of it. So we have yellow, blue, red, green, orange, blue, red, green, and yellow. So at the base of every residential building in the Russian Federation, there's commercial space. So there's restaurants and stores close by. So in the Russian Federation, this is a very unique practice because it blends efficiency with convenience. So by having your retail space at the base of a residential building, people don't have to spend energy to travel across town to get groceries, to have a bite to eat, to get your hair cut. It's a very good practice, not just for economic sustainability or economic and environmental sustainability, but also just for general well-being and convenience. So for those of you that are unaware with the West, or particularly North America, we have a habit of delegating zones for commercial areas and zones for living areas. So it's very common for people to have to commute 10 to 12 kilometers to get to a grocery store, or sometimes more, and that adds inefficiency for energy consumption as well as time consumption. So the Russian Federation is ahead of everybody in terms of eliminating wasteful use of energy just by this practice alone. It's a standard practice throughout the city. This is a huge city. I've been all over the city. Every single residential complex is dual function. It's commercial as well as residential. Main floor commercial, second floor up residential. Genius idea. We don't do that in the West. So as I tour this neighborhood, I just want to call your attention here to this, and this I like this because personally my politics align with the former Soviet Union. There's obviously a need to change, but the design on this pays tribute to the factory that my wife worked at. So you see the stack and the gears. So it pays tribute to those that came before us. Nice little architectural feature to both beautify and add some history to the project. So before I tour the rest of the neighborhood, there's another development going in there. This is what was before. All right, so this is what you see on TV when everybody says bad things about the Russian Federation. You see a building like that. It's still reasonably good. It does need a little bit of work, but that's one building in this neighborhood. So I'm just going to show you the rest of the neighborhood, and it's going to get a wide angle here. There we go. So new building, 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 and across the parking lot, new building, new building. So there's one bad building in this neighborhood, and of course the average Western journalist, when the average Western journalist comes to Russian Federation, they don't film any of the new stuff, right? They just show you the building built in the late 1940s, 1950s. They show it in disrepair, and then tell you a bunch of stuff that's not true. So I want you guys to see this. So here's the blue one. Yeah, you see right there, that's the orange sign storefront there. It's a grocery store. It's called Dixie. The green cross in Moscow, when you see a green cross, it's a pharmacy. Sorry, I had to zoom in so you guys could see it. So it's a grocery store and a pharmacy, conveniently located underneath a residential complex. Very ingenious, very convenient. So I'll continue with our walk. So you can see this is all brand new. This is what people don't want you to see on TV. They want you to think that everything's bad here when it's not. And so it's really important for you to see this, and it's nice for me to take a video of this because my wife, was here as a teenager, and my wife was right. Like, at the late period of the Soviet Union, this area wasn't very nice, and now it's beautiful. So this is what Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Albanese, Grant Sharps, Sunni Sunak doesn't want you to see. Because chances are, if you're living a blue-collar life in the West, you don't have a place like this. You have a pretty rundown place. I know a couple factories that I worked at. I had to stay in some places that weren't too good in London, Ontario. It was a rough go. And at the time I was living there, I was seeing videos of the Russian Federation. I thought, well, it's not that bad. Other people are living like I am, right? Well, yeah, people here are living pretty good. There's, and I'm not gonna totally, not say that there aren't, there isn't room for financial growth. There's always room for financial growth. Russia has the same challenges that Canada and the United States have for income distribution because capital markets are limited. And with increasing capital markets, of course, you get increases in wages. So the economic potential of this country is here. This is the capital, of course. But as you can see, like, this is just absolutely beautiful. Like, this isn't fake news. Everybody wants you to think everything's bad here, and it's just not. So for those of you that are just tuning into my channel, just started following the Russian Federation, just out of curiosity, I'm going to just educate you guys. I think most of you guys already do know, but there's a chain of stores here. It's not a store, it's an online retailer called Ozon. It's Russian Amazon. It's very popular. There's also Yandex Market. What they do to generate efficiencies and make it easier for you to get your goods, rather than deliver things door to door, they have pickup centers all across Moscow. So this is an Ozon pickup center. It's conveniently located inside a flower store. It's open conveniently from 10 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, 12 hours. And you just, when you order your goods, you order it to this store. And after you get a message on your app, your Ozon app, you have a barcode, you scan the barcode at the counter and you get your goods. It's actually more efficient than Amazon. They don't have to use the mail service to get your goods. They have little trucks, and in some cases they have electric bikes that move the goods to the stores to save on gas. So they actually, I think they do it better than Amazon. So I'll show you what street this is. This is Likhacheva Prospect. Sorry, my Russian's off. Likhacheva Prospect. So I'll continue with the tour down the street. So this sidewalk, all new. When I do these videos, I try not to film people. Some people here don't like to be filmed, so it's really important that you respect people's wishes. But yeah, brand new. This development started, from what I remember, I've said it was 4 years ago this development started. Still under progress. Beautiful, beautiful future neighbor. Here's a shot of the buildings from afar. This one's interesting because Russians typically don't have parking like this. This is a little more Western. In the older neighborhoods and some of the newer neighborhoods, you do not get a parking space with your unit. It's some of them you get a little parking garage. So this is new. They made an improvement on this. The one thing that's different with Russia, with the addresses, is sometimes you'll see an address, like I'm looking across the street here, and it says Avtozavrodskaya Ulitsa, And then on the other side of the street, it has the other name I quoted. So sometimes the buildings are assigned to a street, but they're not always on the street. It's a little bit confusing. So you have to be a little bit, it's done a little differently. They don't do the city streets like a grid like we do in the West, which is nice because they have little walkways between buildings. You don't have to walk along the street if you don't want to. They have a little park between buildings you can cross through. It's nice and absolutely beautiful. Like in this, like to me, in a new Toronto neighborhood, I mean, these are identical. It's construction techniques are very similar. Architectural standards are very similar. You know, Torontonian would feel very comfortable here, especially for the price point. So a lot of these flats are 100,000 US. Some of them are on the upper end, 200,000 US for a 3-bedroom condo. Maintenance fees are typically fairly low. Let's go across the street here. Okay, cabbie's gonna stop for me. That's the one thing you have to watch out in Moscow as you're paying attention, because it's sort of like Quebec. Motorist has it right away. Don't take chances with the motorists. And this is nice too. The Russian Federation in Moscow, they preserve a lot of the old benches. They paint the benches every year, so it's nice to see new ones out. As you can see, very sturdy, wooden. These ones get a touch-up every year. They haven't done the touch-up yet. And then here's an example. This is a newer walkway, but they put a walkway in between buildings. For pedestrians. So the design of these areas, they like to keep people and motorists separate. So people have quiet spaces to walk through. It's very, 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 it's a lot different than the West. Okay, so that's my tour for today. I've been not doing videos. I was looking for work for a couple of weeks, so I wasn't doing a lot of videos. And also the weather, I wanted to video more with leaves on the trees, because it doesn't matter what city you go to. March, early April, it's not the best time to capture the beauty of any location, because without the foliage, it makes everything, especially in the spring when the snow melts, it doesn't look at its best. So I wanted to wait and capture the scenery with more green, more flowers, so you get a full appreciation of how everything looks. So I hope this video was entertaining. All right, Меня зовут Адам Taves. Я из Канады. Моя семья из России. My wife is also Russian. I really thank you for watching my channel today, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. До свидания.